I like to take that 23-year-old and teach him how to make $150,000 to $500,000 a year, and then he gets that girlfriend that turns into a wife, and then has little Johnny once his bank account.
So we're back, another glorious episode of the Mission Control Podcast, brought to you by Mike Stearns and Ascend Digital Agency. You're in for a treat, as always. We've got Raymond with SVG. What's up, Raymond?
How you doing, man?
Man, we chilling. We got Sheldon with TSM.
What's happening?
Y'all know Sheldon because you tune in every week. You saw him a couple weeks ago, and we got some shit in store for you today. I've been told by the producer, Dean, so we're not at our typical studio. I've been told I can't look at this monitor that's off to my right, so just to, piss him off a little bit, I'm going to look at it a couple times here and there, get distracted. Ain't that right, Dean?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. But before we get started, I'd like to say a special thanks for the team at Roofer for helping making this happen. So if you need roof measurements, roof quotes, clean and pristine proposals, which will give your prospects no choice but to become customers, click the link in the description. You'll be happy you did. Let's talk sales, and not the actual sales themselves, the folks that are responsible for driving sales. Where do we find salespeople? How do we compensate them? How do we keep them motivated? You guys take it from here. Where do you want to start? Where do you find your salespeople?
Ooh, it's the $1 million question for sure. Probably the hottest topic and it never goes away either. And it's something like we deal with it too. But we, at least in our company, we look for more high quality individuals. So it could take a little bit longer for us to hire somebody, or like the recruiting phase. But when we bring that person in, we know that they're gonna meet all of our core values, or they check all those boxes. So for us, like, it could be a long play, but we do Indeed, Facebook. Like, a lot of times people like to see what you're doing just on Facebook and Instagram, and that's a recruiting tool in itself. So
like that. What about you, Raymond?
Yeah, so I like get them off Facebook. If they've been watching me for a while, they kind of know what my core values are as an individual, not as a company. And it's my brand, so I'm gonna represent my brand to the fullest. The biggest thing for me is, when they come in from Facebook, they already kind of know what I'm about. If you are opening up a new market, I always tell everybody, even if you're in your regular market, if your core values are, not a party animal, physical fitness, high-driven individual, you can go to a gym at Friday night and hand out your cards around 9 o'clock. And you also can go to a gym around 6 o'clock Sunday morning, or Saturday night. You can go 8 or 9 o'clock and hand out your cards and see if people are looking for different opportunities. You can also go to those same gym owners and ask them, hey, can I set up a table out here? Some of the smaller gyms are CrossFit gyms. Same thing with 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. Sponsor it, set up a table, look for career opportunities to highly driven, successful, disciplined human beings.
Yeah, that's incredible insight too, because meeting people where they're at, right? So first, there's that situational awareness. Like, these are the things that I covet as far as salespeople in my organization. Where do these people with these types of traits hang out? So it's no different from advertising, right? Like, when, if I'm running ads for Sheldon, I'm trying to figure out, where's the guy that has a tile roof that needs a roof replaced? Where is he looking? Let's make sure we put his brand there when, they're looking. Yeah. Pretty simple, right? Simple, not easy. I feel like a lot of people miss on that. Why do you think that is?
I think people try to overthink it. I know that anybody looking for an opportunity on Indeed is probably not going to fit my culture. Not to throw shade on him, but I'm just saying I know that when I ran it, I ran my operation before I sold. I ran my operation at the highest standard, and required the most out of my guys. So they already knew if you're going to be on Facebook or Instagram, you're holding up beers at the lake and raising hell on the weekends. Like, you're not going to join my team. Now, that doesn't mean I'm just going to X you out, because I'm a human being. I will put you in a group text to another company and get you placed there. And maybe one day you'll fit our standards. If not, that's fine too.
So let's say we got 5 or 6 people that we're considering for a position. If you guys notice that through the interview process, through the onboarding, that there's certain indicators that will be like, that's a red flag, that's a green flag, and if so, what are those?
So I like disciplined, not clean cut. I mean, I'm covered head to toe in tattoos. I'm just covered up. I'm not so much worried about clean cut. I do like disciplined human beings. I like the guys that are going to be there about 30, 45 minutes or an hour early. Those are prime candidates for me. I love that. I don't like just right there on time, because I just look at it like this. If this guy's getting here right on time, what about adjuster meeting? Even though I haven't instilled in them, for me, second chance opportunity, people like myself, I already knew I had my criminal record going against me. I already had probably my age going against me, because I'm almost 50 years old now, and I didn't get right till about 38. And I had the tattoos going against me. So what did I have going for me? The only thing I had really going for me was I was early and ready to go, and I smelled good, and I was physically fit. So that's the attributes I look in other individuals that'll fit my culture.
What about you, Sheldon?
There's one thing, and I don't think it gets talked about a whole lot, but I really like to look at the people that are married or have children. For us, like the people that have, they're in a stable relationships. You can tell that they're, committed to something. And then when they have kids, like people with kids have a different drive, and at least versus, a super young guy just still trying to figure things out. Like those individuals seem to stand out for us. Like all of our top, I have 3 of my top producers last year. One of them sold 2.25. One of them sold 1.9, and they're both married, both have kids, like stable household, like consistent people. So that's one thing. It's not the only thing I look at, but it's
a green flag.
Yeah.
So you got somebody who's 23, they're single. What is something that they can communicate to you during that process where you feel, okay, this is outside of what I would typically look for, but I like this guy or girl?
I'll go for it. That's the one I want. I mean, that's crazy. And me and Sheldon, we've talked for over a year now and been friends. So I want the exact opposite of what he wants. I don't want somebody that's involved a lot, married or with their kids. I'm more gunslinging, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, can travel, run the storm. Those people, and I love to have them. I'll take them, especially if they're dedicated, but I want the guys that this is their second chance and this is go time, that can leave on Friday night. If there's a hailstorm in Nebraska, we can roll out Saturday morning. They don't need to talk to their wife. They're not going to miss little Johnny's baseball game. I want to be able to get in the truck, roll coal all the way there, knock doors for 2 weeks, then head home. So I'm looking for the exact opposite. Now, both can be A players now, 100%. But I was more into the, hey, you're not going to be the assistant coach of little Johnny's baseball team, are you? Sure. You don't got a wife that you need to eat dinner with every night at 6 o'clock, especially in the start process. Now, what I like about that, though, I like to take that 23-year-old to kind of jump with your question. I like to take that 23-year-old and teach him how to make $150,000 to $500,000 a year, and then he gets that girlfriend that turns into a wife, and then has little Johnny once his bank account's situated. I like to turn that 23-year-old into what Sheldon wants.
And I think it's probably somewhat depends upon like what you're doing too. If you're traveling and going out of town and you're making 2-week runs and stuff like that, for us, we travel a bunch, but we're not necessarily storm chasing. We kind of more of storm catchers, I guess you could say. And I hate,
no, I love that. No, I love that. Yeah,
everybody
right,
says
though.
that, but that's how we are. And too, we've worked together for a while now, but they definitely can't be at home on the wife's tit every night. That doesn't work.
Especially while they're learning, right? Especially while they're learning.
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
we can get to that, right?
Yeah.
We can get to that. You sell $2 or $3 million a year, then we want those seasons. We want them to calm down.
Yeah.
But I think when we're bringing new guys on, we can't hire people. We hire people, right? We hire or we choose to use services as a W-2 or 1099, right? But we bring,
more on that later.
yeah. Well, I was teeing that up for you. But we're bringing them on, and we're developing young men into those individuals that Sheldon's obviously turning them into too.
Yeah.
So, and not to interrupt you, Mike, but when you're looking for somebody, are you looking for somebody that has what type of work background? Is that a W-2 background or somebody who has worked 1099 type stuff before? If that's your model,
my model was the young lost guys, either second chance guys, or they're kind of graduated high school, or maybe they got their GED. I'd like for them to do at least that. They're kind of wandering around. Maybe they were going to go to college, grades weren't good enough. They were going to the military. Maybe they got in a little skirmish as they were younger, and the military wasn't as an option, that's who I want.
So is there a specific like age gap you stay away? Like, is it those, you like those guys that are 18, 19 years old, or like 25 to 30 is...
Oh, well, nowadays they're all lost.
Yeah.
So I like them 18 to 35.
Yeah.
Because an 18-year-old lost is about, there's 35-year-olds that are lost too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I like the lost ones that are looking for direction, that are hungry.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see it in their eyes, you know, and I like the guys that they don't have a plan B.
Right.
There's no plan. I'm plan A. There's no plan B.
That's interesting. Do you think that has a lot to do with your experience, and that's why you seek that out, because you've experienced that, you've made it through, and you want to provide the others opportunities? Or do you feel like characteristically they're just a better fit?
I think they're a better fit for the opportunity, just because it's so. I don't think everybody's born with hustle. A lot of those guys in that age bracket, they're kind of wandering around. They didn't. So you learn in the field with me. You learn while you're doing it. I think a lot of people are trying to teach these guys in the classroom, and they realize that the reason they're lost is because they don't learn in the classroom. So I'm a hands-on. I think even little boys, elementary school and middle school, I don't think that you should medicate them. I just don't think everybody learns the same way. And I like to get those ones that may be misclassified through the public school system that hasn't been changed in 150 years. Yeah. I like to get those, and I want to teach them hands-on how to hustle, knock doors, climb, and do contracts. To do a read a scope, what you need about a fifth grade, maybe seventh, eighth grade math skills.
Ambitious.
Yeah. So I like to have the ones that are kind of just wandering around, and I'm covered head to toes with tattoos, but I don't like no face, tattoos or nothing like that. I like to be able to see a vision with them. If I can clean them up, put them in a hat and a collared shirt, that they fit our culture.
Yeah, and I think the stigma around tattoos has evolved. I think that it's still there a little bit, but
not on the face though, right?
Yeah.
We got to stay away from the face when we're knocking on your door. Make sure we're knocking and not kicking it.
Yeah, through my experience, one of the biggest things you're up against as a contractor is getting that defense down, because there's so many horror stories, there's so much distrust, and if you come through with an ice cream cone tattooed on your cheek, like, there's nothing wrong with that. If you have that, like, it probably looks good on you, do your thing, but it's going to be really hard, much harder than if you didn't have that face tattoo, I think, to disarm the homeowner and make them feel somewhat comfortable.
Yeah, and you're representing my brand too, so I don't, the ice cream cut on the face would probably a no-go for me.
Raymond wants a butterfly.
A butterfly. I want a butterfly, yeah.
Spread your wings, young butterfly. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Why, generally speaking, whether it's, a 22-year-old second chance individual, if it's a 35-year-old with 2 kids and a wife, why do salespeople fail?
A lot of times they'll fail before they even get in the door because they listen to people and they're scared of commission. Oh, it's commission only. Oh, no. Well, no, man, you around me, I train everybody. You only eat what you kill. So that knocks about 70% of them off the wall. Out of the picture day one, when they hear it's commission only. Second of all, they have to be home at certain times. They follow the man-made calendar and don't chase the opportunity. That's why they fell. And then if it's a door knocking referral, a setter closer model, or door to door, they start to make a little bit of money and they start taking vacations and stuff, and they lose that pipeline, and they don't realize how hard it was to actually build that pipeline. That's why, in my opinion, that's why most of them fell. And then when they realize that they were good at sales, some of them think that they're business owners, and then they go out on their own and they realize they were just salespeople and not business owners. So,
I mean, it's crazy, when you go from a sales position to an owner, the difference that you don't realize, you don't foresee. When I started my company, I used to do sales, and I'm like, I was the same guy. I was like, I could do this. It's going to be great.
Well, and it's like off the charts right now, too. I mean, there's new companies popping up like daily. I guess you can't even keep track of all of them. Like, every time we go out to a house to do a bid, like right there, like in our territory, I mean, there's every time there's a new
contractor. You got a quote from who? Yeah, literally, it was my first contract I signed. I go to run the payment, it gets a fraud alert. They call the bank, which is tough, right? Like, I'm doing a sales call from 7 states away, and it's like, yeah, sure, dude, give me $6,000. He's like, all right, and then it's like, this might be fraud, and I'm like, this thing's dead. And he's like, I'll call the bank. I'm like, okay. It goes through. next transaction, I think it was Square. They just hold the money. They're like, we're going to be holding this indefinitely, and we need your license, we need this, we need that. And I was like, well, can I get a different payment processor, please? But because of the size of the transaction, the fact that it's no swipe and the industry that it's in, everyone was super apprehensive. And they're like, well, give us your last 90 days of bank statements. I'm like, I've been in business for 27 days. So, it's like the people advertise on LinkedIn, you need to have 35 years experience and be under 25. It's like, well, hold on a second. Just one of those things you don't forecast, you don't account for when it's like, all right, I'm going to make this jump. And I've seen a lot of salespeople leave companies and crash and burn because they find out the hard way.
Yeah.
Like in a storm situation, they don't understand how much cash you need to be able to get where you're going. You don't have those same relationships that your old company had with your suppliers to be able to float you, and you're waiting on deductibles and payment from the insurance company, and it seems like it can be a son of a bitch sometimes. You got empty pockets.
Yeah, you don't build roofs, you count squares.
What about you? What do you see in your experience as far as salespeople not succeeding?
Somewhat similar to like what Ray said, but that complacency, and then, that seems like more nowadays we're running into like a lot of entitlement, and guys can say the right things up front and stuff like that, and you get to where they build a little bit of a pipeline, they start to get a couple sales, and then like it's very easy to spot it when they're starting to get complacent and just like the mentality shift. And for us, it's like soon as we start to recognize that, we try to either address it, correct it, or like, hey, let you build your jobs, you can, we don't need to use your services anymore. But yeah, there's a entitlement, and it's probably the biggest thing that I see nowadays, especially with like the younger age group, like particularly for us, it's like that 20 to 25 range. Like it's a lot of entitlement. I don't know specifically why, but I tell people, I'm like, hand the ball to the ref, act like you've been there before, and then go run the next play. Like, it's okay. There's a time and a place to celebrate and to rest on your laurels of like, oh, we got the win. I look at like in high school when we had football, if we won a game, like Monday we're back at practice and we're fucking, we're running snakes. And if you don't know what snakes are, you're running the width of the football field. It's 50 some yards, and you're jogging one, running over, 5 yards, sprinting the next. And you're doing that for the whole field. And if we lost, we had to do hills on Weeder Hill. Weeder Hill was a mother. It was terrible. And we ran as many hills as the points we lost by.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good when you didn't lose. It really sucks when you lost. And it's like, okay, bear crawl the hill now. It's like, dude, what now? Son of a gun. But like those types of things as young men, it teaches you things, right? Discipline. But what is discipline? How do you suss that out in a conversation with somebody?
Discipline comes from the leadership. Whatever the leadership's doing, you'll never manage or create somebody that's more disciplined than yourself. You're never going to have a rock star rep that's outselling you if you're not doing it. You'll never create them, especially if you're greenfielding them. And if you take them or get them, or however they come in the door from another company, they won't stay long if they're more disciplined than the leadership.
But if we're at the point where I've seen your content on Facebook, and you know what, I want to go work for Raymond, and I apply, and you sit me down, and we're having a conversation. Like, you could see, like, you go with Andy Elliott. Like, if you don't have a six-pack, you're not working here. I know plenty of people that are disciplined that don't have a six-pack. So, like, how do you determine in your mind how disciplined somebody is through having a conversation with them?
Well, when they walk in the door, I can tell about how disciplined they are when they walk in the door, because you're not going to hide laziness wearing on your body.
Ooh. Okay.
So I can already tell how way you're put together.
Yeah.
When you were here, just like I'm gonna revert back to that. When you were here, were you waiting in the truck for me? Where you are when I came in? You've been sitting there for 15 minutes, and I'm 30 minutes early. You were 45 minutes early. I can also, like I said, your body composition. I can tell how disciplined you are. I mean, that's before talking to them, and then I can say, hey, what do you do in your free time? Well, me and the boys, we go for boys' night or guys' night, whatever it's called, guys' night. I'll ask them a few telltale signs, but most of my guys they come from either racing bikes or running or the gym or bodybuilding or. I usually don't have to screen them so much. They screen themselves when they walk in.
Got it.
Do they smell good, look good, or are they put together? Are they physically fit? Or they don't have to be ripped. I don't have a six pack, but I can tell that, you know, when you turn to go, you know, hand in your employment pack, I can tell if you're disciplined or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to have a six pack, by the way.
No six pack.
Really good.
And to work with me. Nobody has ever worked for me. They work with me. So when people, even on Facebook, they say, hey, I work for Raymond, or I worked for Raymond, I said, no. You work with me, because I climbed to the day I retired.
How's it feel to be retired?
No, it feels good to be able to go to the grocery store and pay my car insurance and stuff like that, and realize that, you know, that's always going to be paid, right? But, you know, what I miss the most about the whole industry, or what the company I built and sold, was I've been made a lot of money early on. You know, it wasn't really about the money for me, and everybody says that. But I didn't realize why people say that until you exit. And for me, what I miss is personally developing the guys and changing them from the rep that I like to when they end up leaving me and going to Sheldon. Yeah. They got tired of working. You know, from when I'm at 4:30 in the morning on the group me saying, "Let's get it." Yeah. You know, and then I'm showing the camera when I'm on the way home. I'm getting home at 10:30. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? When they get tired of that, they're going to go over there.
That's still the culture. Either way, I don't care if you got wife and kids. Yeah, it's still you got to be on. Like, storm happens. We talked about this the other day. 4th of July.
4th of July.
Yeah.
Gotta go, right?
Gotta go. And we hadn't had any storms, any significant storms for probably like a year and a half, 2 years. And it's the evening of July 3rd, we had like 1.25 inch hail, probably about like an hour and 15 minutes from us, hour and 20. And like maybe 2 hours left of daylight. Like, everybody in the truck, like, we're there. And, you know, we signed probably like, I don't know, 6 to 8 contracts before dark. We didn't have a whole lot of time, but it was like, next day's 4th of July. That's when you find out.
Yeah. And that made you feel good. So you knew you had built a culture then. Yeah. And congratulations to you on that too, man. That's a great
everybody was up there the morning of the 4th, and, you know, whatever, they went till 2:00. Some guys stayed, some guys went home. But they were there on the 4th. It was the following day, though. Like, what happened?
That was a tough one.
And that's Saturday. So it's like, who's going to show up? And there's some guys that don't show up, and that, like, it's those scenarios too that will show you real quick. And then those guys also wonder, you know, a month, 2 months down the road, like, oh, you know, you hear them whining about commissions and stuff like that. It's like, well, hey, were you up there?
Right.
Like, everybody that was up there, they have full pipelines. They have builds consistently going. They have referrals coming in. Like, they're working the process and they're killing it. And I mean, I can't do it for you.
There's a song called "Stay Schemin'" where Rick Ross says, "Kobe's my man. I hate it had to be him. Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, huh?" Because you weren't with me shooting. And that's all I think about is, like, when somebody's upset, it's like, dude, it's like drilling oil. Like, there's a finite amount of oil here, and if you get your drilling, you're gonna get some oil. And if you come late, I don't want to hear about how mad you are. You don't have any oil. You should have fucking been here.
And I'm with Ray, like, on you know, he's out there climbing roofs and stuff like that. Like, on those scenarios, I love that environment. There's something different about it. I know, like, you heard me go off about it the other day, but it's like, that's what I love about this industry, that hustle. And it's like, let's go get it. And then you can just go, and, you know, when you have a group of guys that has the same mentality, it's like, I think that Saturday I was talking about, there was maybe like 3 of us that went, and we signed like 30 contracts that day between the 3 of us.
Right, but what'd you just say? The 3 of us that went, right. You were there.
I was there, yeah.
So if you weren't there, that culture wouldn't have came. That I would have been there too.
Yeah.
Leading from the front, talking trash on GroupMe, handing out bills to my guys, you know, leading from the front. But that's what you said. We were there, not they were there doing. That's the difference between a boss and a leader. Right. So, yeah, congratulations to you on that.
Appreciate that, yeah.
I'm a firm believer that momentum is an incredibly powerful thing, for better and for worse, right? So let's talk about, you know, you've got a sales rep, they've been with you for some time, and they typically do well, but they're the quarterback that just threw back-to-back interceptions, right? And it's hard for that amnesia to go away when you have a few days that aren't productive. It starts to weigh on you, and now you start to second-guess yourself. The confidence is waning, and you see that. You're observing this. How do you intervene and help this person get their confidence back? Sheldon, you go.
Usually, I try to, like, kind of catch it on the first one if you can, and walk them through the scenario. For me, it's like, start at the kind of the beginning and just walk me through it, and we'll have a conversation on it. Like, I want to know what like the hurdle for is, probably an objection of some kind, but we try to walk them back through that, and so they can be prepared the next time where it's like address these things. Because the way we train our guys with their pitch, it's like we want to hit all the points up front where they don't have any of like those. You don't want to have to deal with some of those like silly objections like on the back end if you can address them early and often. And typically, like we'll run a couple deals with them, make sure like either they'll shadow one of our managers or me, whoever, but we also like want to go in there and we'll shadow them too. Like, I want to hear them pitch the homeowner, and usually I will record them so like they can hear it too, because it's a powerful thing to like hear yourself talking. Like, you go back and listen to it, you think you like crushed it, and you're like, God damn, what the hell did I just say? Like, I sound like an idiot. So yeah, I think it's the recording yourself is super super powerful. We do a lot of that for training.
I like that. So real time awareness.
Yeah.
And intervention. Got it. What about you, Raymond?
Yeah, same thing. You should be able to tell by the CRM their behavior, right? So if they got only so many leads, so many prospects, so many closed deals, if it's unleveled, they're doing something wrong. So the answer to every question is the leader gets in the truck and says, get in the truck with me. And then we go run 2 deals, and I'm going to get them some deals. I'm going to personally get them some deals and say, man, on the way there, I said, man, you have to be saying something wrong. Because it's the same flow. Like, if you only got so many prospects and not, so many leads or so many close, there's something that we can color code that and be able to see it at our sales meeting. And so there's something they need to really be journaling. I tell them to journal and say, man, you lost your flow somewhere, right? You're a $2 million producer. What's going on at home? What are you saying to the homeowners? Where did you see? But once you start talking to them or they start journaling it, you'll catch it. And you should be able to catch it when you color code the CRM. But I go get them in the truck, go get them 2 or 3 deals. And if there are a seasoned veteran or somebody that's been with me for a long time, $1 million, $2, $3 million producer, I go out there personally and build their pipeline again with them. And a critique, it's just like what Sheldon said, they're saying something or they did something different. There's something in their personal life that's going on. But yeah, I mean, these are relationships with these guys. I mean,
and it probably requires like one-on-one, like at least what we see is like it does require a one-on-one. You could talk about objections and stuff in a sales meeting, but you know how guys are. It's tough to get like authentic with them when you can go right around with them like that, have those conversations, and sometimes, and I'm sure you do it too. It's like you can direct that conversation into like getting some of those answers. Like they'll naturally respond to you without them even maybe knowing that what you're asking them. And it's just getting them to be authentic with you. And I think that's a struggle with sales managers, is being able to do that. And especially guys that a lot of sales managers are still getting commissions, making them realize like when they need to go intervene with that rep, throw them in the truck. And like sometimes it just takes an extra little like, hey, like, come on, I got you, bro. Like, let's go. So
no, those are good points, because it could be, you're missing part of the script. You talked about drawing out those objections and trial closing, getting them to overcome those throughout the process. Because then if they come up at the end, it's like, well, you told me X, and then you agreed on Y. Like, what am I missing?
Yeah.
But if you're not doing that, you get stuck in a position where you can't overcome the objection. Or they could have got bad news at home, right? And in that truck time, taking interest, having one-on-one time, those things kind of manifest themselves, and you talk through it. And it's always good to feel like you have somebody in your corner, especially when they're your leader, right?
Yeah, I say a lot of times people don't need coaches; they need counselors.
Yeah.
You gotta be. A lot of times it's not a sales problem; it's a character defect problem. Something happened in their life to break that pipeline down. It's usually not a sales problem. Not when you have systems like he does or systems like we do. Systems are made to be broke. But usually, if you're not going from a $2 million, he's a $2 million producer, and year after year after year, and so obviously he's going down and not going to $6 million. So it probably wasn't a systems problem. It was probably more of a character defect problem, and we need to get one-on-one with them and see what's going on with his life. A lot of these sales managers, they're not. We're all doing the same process. We're all knocking doors. We're all climbing roofs, identifying damage, coming in. They're calling in the claim. We're all meeting adjusters. We're all getting scopes of work. We're all building the roofs. A lot of times, it's it's not a system problem. You got a constant cheerleading and counseling problem for these guys. So the process is the same with everybody. Nobody's doing a different process. It's just whoever's being the best leader, counselor / coach. That's why your numbers go up. It's not we're not doing nothing better.
And not a boss, like you were saying earlier.
Not
like
a boss.
That I see, and I know guys, I have friends that have companies and stuff, and that's like the dynamic that they hold. And it seems like, they either don't have very many reps, or like their, revenue kind of gets stagnant. And 100%. And that's how everybody in our office, that's the way I talk to everybody. Like, but I got to do it too. I mean, like, I'll be the one to go through the office and take the trash out and stuff. I want them to like know that I'll do whatever it is that they're being asked to do, and that I'm not above that. They start to see that. It does. I do feel like it creates a different relationship and respect there. So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You mentioned you could see it in the CRM. What do you say to the business owners that's like, I can't get my guys to document the CRM. They can't get them to document their follow-up. It's just not happening. They won't do it.
Are you leading by example? Who's leading them? Are you not leading them? And then if it's a respect problem at that point in time, a lot of times that same guy's left the field. He's left the business mentally. He might be showing up physically. He's left the business mentally. Who's running the sales meeting? Who's watching the workflow on the CRM? Who's in touch with the guys? It's your baby. You're the owner. Ain't nobody gonna take care of your baby like you are. Mm-hmm. You quit caring? Well, they don't care.
Yeah.
I tell these guys, until you bust about $10 million, you better be. The way you can scale in this industry, you got to stay out there long enough, and this is where people don't grow. You got to stay out there 3 or 4 years and develop other leaders and duplicate yourself over and over and turn these guys into winners and give them some type of override or piece of the pie so they actually care to be performance-based and carry your baby. If you're $3 or $4 million and you're going home at 4 o'clock and you think those guys are going to knock at 8 o'clock, you'll never bust out of that 3 or 4 million. You get about $10 million and get where you got 4 guys running, 10 guys apiece, and then they're performance-driven, right? They're not on a base salary because base salaries kill all dreams and aspirations. They're on only on eat what you kill mentality, and everybody's got some skin in the game, chasing that carrot. Then you can maybe leave the field. Even at 10 million, I didn't leave. I left the field at 40, and that's because I sold for 38 million.
Can I borrow $5?
I got you.
I got it. Listen, we only bring the best here on the Mission Control podcast. And also shout out for Pure Life. If you guys want to, your first one's free, but if you want to sponsor the show, we could discuss terms in the DMs. Go ahead and slide on in there. I told you I would do it. I'm out of my word, if nothing else. Now, I know a lot of folks, W-2 for the salespeople. I know a lot of folks, 1099. I also had an interview with an employment attorney and a contractor, and we talked about misclassification and all the things that come along with that. Any of you guys have any experience with that at all?
It's a fine line to walk that. I'm going to let Raymond walk.
Well, I'm already out of the business. One of the biggest things I learned with private equity is compliancy. I also learned the compliancy also when I was a company owner, which I'm not no more. 1099, you can offer a lead to somebody. W-2, you can assign it to them. 1099, you can ask for people to come to the sales meeting. W-2, you can tell them to come to the sales meeting. W-2, you can be a boss. 1099, you have to be a leader. You control, with 1099, you control the behavior with revenue and opportunity. With W-2, you control it with policies and process, write-ups, or whatever, however you want to handle it. I love the 1099 model, but I'm a leader. W-2 interests me none. I would never run a W-2 just because I'm going to lead from the front every day, and it keeps the business, it keeps it, with lower overhead, as far as, taxes and HR departments and whatnot. I love the 1099 model. I would never W-2 it. And if I'm leading from the front, I ain't got to. You can come if you want. I can choose not to use your services too, and I like that. I don't want to pay unemployment.
If you were to, so let's say there's this is the hot topic, like all the time. So guys that are running a 1099 model, you mentioned about the leads. How would a guy need to go about covering his tracks with that? Is that in the CRM, documenting it, that you're offering it versus like...
You can offer it in a group text. You can offer it in a text. You can offer it in the CRM. Hey, do you want to run this lead? It's just all verbiage.
And I don't know if you had a misclassification thing come up that you had to deal with, but are they going that deep and looking into that stuff to determine a misclassification? I know they're looking at social media, and I've been through that. I've seen that before. So
yeah, I mean, it depends how pissed off you made that 1099.
Yeah.
How many screenshots he has?
That's a common thing, right? A guy leaves and then he goes to the Department of Labor, and
and he bought me shirts, he bought me hats, he bought me cards. You classify him as a W-2. He required me to go to this meeting. He did that. It's going to start off about $250,000 fine for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you just got to, spend the money, spend the $4 or $5 grand and get that attorney. I'm sure Michael can refer attorneys to anybody there. It's like the water. I can't read that. That tells you about where I'm at, but I made it in roofing. Sit down with an attorney, have them go over your business plan. It'd be the best $3 or $4 or $5 grand. I don't even know what they charge to learn it. I learned everything the hard way. You can create, stores and have, for them to buy their shirts and hats at. A website, a company website. You don't make money off of it, but you can't buy a 1099 subcontractor any marketing material. So you got to get creative, get with an attorney in your state or county, and figure out, are you in compliance or are you not? It'll be the best money you ever spent in your life.
I can tell you one thing you shouldn't do. Don't go to a Facebook group and ask a bunch of roofers for advice on taxes and law, okay? I see it all the time.
A roofing claims and discussion board.
I'm like, brother. I get it. Like, people that are where you're at or been where you want to go and getting advice from them, but also, like, go to them for roofing advice. If you have a tax question, talk to an accountant. You have a legal question?
Talk to an attorney.
Go talk to an attorney.
Yeah.
You got a leak in your roof? Talk to a roofer.
Yeah, you need a website? Talk to a son. Whatever. These are obvious things, right? Silly goose. Yeah. I see it all the time, and I'm just like, I don't have the heart to say it because, people hate marketing agencies as it is, so I don't want to, have tomatoes thrown at me for being like, you should probably talk to an attorney because it's flagrantly obvious.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to. And this Department of Labor will come in there and they'll teach you.
Yeah. They'll teach you. They'll like, go get the belt, like my mom used to do.
I'd rather take that belt than those fines.
Yeah, but it just sucks. It's like, getting a whooping's bad enough, but like when you got to walk to go get the apparatus in which you're gonna, it's like that's a different level. That walk,
and that's a big problem too in these non-licensed states, right? It's just the Wild Wild West. Well, when the Wild Wild West catches up with you, what happens in the Wild Wild West when it catches up with you? You get your head knocked off. Yeah. So this double-edged sword. Whoever can play the game the best.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest changes in the industry over the last 12 months?
I mean, on the insurance side of things, it's just the, payment process, the AR part of it, like we talked about earlier. You got to be able to, if you want to play the game, like you're going to have to be able to bankroll some stuff. And guys, I see a lot of guys, they go buy the car, they buy the house, like all the stuff. And it's like, man, I've lived in the same house for the last 10 years, man. Like I felt above my means at the time I bought it, but now it's like I could probably afford something else. But I was kind of the same way. I would like to stay like cash rich, so to speak, in case shit comes up, because I want to be able to pay for it, move on, keep doing the thing. But to do the insurance work, you're definitely going to have to carry some stuff, and you start selling big jobs, you get HOAs, those type of deals, man. $500,000, $600,000 deals, like you're going to have to float some cash for sure. And I believe the insurance carriers they like to make you squeal, Not making it easy on guys.
Cash rich, I like that. We'll talk about upping your package after the show.
Let's caught that then. Yeah.
We could talk about Claude Code.
Claude Code. You guys got to check out Sheldon's hub that he built, Roof Hub Pro. I could show you what it.
That's why. Not to interrupt, but this is why you need a marketing company for sure.
So Raymond, I get a call. It's like 8:30 p.m. Actually, I get a text message from my dev team, and they're like, "Is Sheldon doing something on the website? Because it's down." And they send me the link, and it goes to Lovable, which is like an AI coding platform. And I go to it, and it's loading this like internal hub instead of loading the website. So I call Sheldon, he doesn't answer, and I call him again. I'm like, "What'd you do?" He's like, "Well, I built a hub for all my processes and all these things on." I'm like, "You built it on Lovable, right?" He's like, "Yeah, why?" I was like, "Well, because you replaced your website." So, every customer that goes there right now, that they're seeing all your processes and commission boards or whatever. He's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, I'm like,
easy fix.
It was addressed quickly.
And you stick with it. You stuck with it, and now it's live where it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
and it's great.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So,
for those that went on there at that, and I just wonder like if there was a customer or something that happened to go to the website in that 30-minute stretch. Luckily, it was like at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, so probably not too many. But I'm like, I could just imagine somebody gets on there and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" "Oh shit, I'm gonna start a roofing company."
Screenshot. For people that are in more of they're more storm-oriented, insurance-oriented, not retail. Yeah, I've had a lot of people reach out to me over the years, and I gotta be honest with you. Like, I'm not gonna fight for somebody to work with us. Like, if it's a fight to convince you that Google works or this works, it's like it's not a fight worth fighting for me, right? Because usually there's a lot of friction there. But I've had guys reach out to me and they're like, I want to get more into retail. It's like, cool. What's your plan? What are you gonna do? And they're like, well, we knock a lot of doors, we do this, we do mailers. And it's like, okay, do you want to build a website? Yeah, I want a website, I want to get found on Google. Then you start talking about what it takes for that type of exposure. And they're like, I'll just hire fucking more door knockers. And I'm like, all right, dude, do that. Do you find, obviously you have a huge network, is that a common thing? Is like, I'll do one or the other, I'm not going to supplement with both? Or do you find that?
I'll just ask them what insurance company broke your back. Who hurt your feelings? I don't do. We do. Everybody does retail. When all storm work is retail. So yeah. So we all do retail, right? We all stormers do retail. I feel like. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just feel like they're lazy. Why do they need a roof other than? What does insurance owe? They owe for indirect or direct physical loss. Mm-hmm. What's indirect, direct physical loss to a roof? What's grading loss? Is that indirect or direct? It's indirect or direct, right? Mm-hmm. So for all these worn out roofs, what covers a loss? If it's damaged, they owe for all of them. Indirect, direct physical loss. That's sunlight, wind, gravity. That's everything.
Gravity.
Yeah, what's the definition of indirect or direct physical loss to a property?
Quarter-inch hail would do it.
Right. It raked it wasn't big enough to cause damage on your roof. Yeah. So I don't know. If retail work for me, it's just it just doesn't do anything for me. If they need a roof, it's from a loss. Indirect or direct. So I do storm work. We all do retail work, and that's who can show the value and keep the price up high enough where you can still maintain a company. Storm work for me, and retail's the last resort. I'm gonna go ahead and climb the roof, and if it's got damage or there's a loss,
did you ever do any type of advertising for
retail?
No, to get storm.
Oh no, we do. We had a marketing company, and we did that, and but ours was mainly door to door, call center leads, and social media.
Let's talk about call centers. I see some people taking smoke in the call center arena.
Oh,
I sold mine to private equity.
I sold mine. I don't have a call center. I see posts about it, some good, some bad, and it seems like they're on polar opposites as far as people's experience. What makes a good call center?
How good's the script? How good's the list scrubbed? Who's dialing? Are they dialing just for you? That's where we get everything convoluted. That's where everything gets mixed up. I built my own. So I built mine. Actually, sold it to private equity after I sold my roofing company. I sold it to them 8 or 9 months after I left. I built my own. I had somebody build mine, and it just dialed for me. And I just sold it to one person. So everything for me is in house. I don't. If you're gonna buy lead packs, buy lead packs. I don't think there's a fix for a call center. There's some good ones out there. If you do your research and get on the right Facebook page, I mean, I can read at a 6th or 7th grade level. You know what I mean? And I built my own and sold it from a 7 figures. So if I can do it and you can't figure it out, you're probably just lazy or not going to do the work. So you deserve to get burned. To a certain degree, right? So don't skip the process. Get educated, learn a lot about them before you start getting in the rooms for somebody. Don't expect that person in the roofing space to sit there and just educate you on your own, and you're just like a little, just getting it all, and then wiring the check. I mean, do your research and ask the right questions, and you won't get burned. The only way you get burned is if you burn yourself.
Do call centers work in non-storm markets?
If the script's right. Yep.
For sure.
What does that look like?
If you get in front of the homeowner, the call center did its job.
Yeah. So what is a call center? If I own a house, some guy calls me, like, what is he saying that takes me from hanging up on you to, come take a look at my roof?
Well, for us, and back to your point about the storm stuff, I do think it depends on the market. Then you come to Phoenix, Arizona, and there's a bunch of concrete tile roofs. You're going to have to do some retail. So we do quite a bit of retail, and we call on those concrete tile roofs. I mean, there's a ton of roofs in our market that are at that 20 to 30 year range, and for me, with any call service that you're using, there's like couple big indicators. Number one, if they're the hot topic on Facebook, they're not the call center for you. They're talking to too many people. And then number two, my first question if I was going to hire a call center, it would be, how many other companies are you calling for in Arizona or, Georgia, wherever you're at? And me, if there's one, I'm not using them. Like it'd have to exclusively be me, because once you start dealing with call centers that are calling for multiple companies, well, let's say Ray's buying a 100 lead package, and I'm just trying to get going, and I'm buying a 10 lead package. Who do you think that they're gonna, take care of? Probably Ray. Yeah. And who knows? Like that's when you start getting leads like recycled and stuff. We've been fortunate. We have our call center does really well, but we work closely with them. I mean, and it's not difficult to build that type of stuff in house either. But we really like to target on the retail side of things, giving out all the stuff. Specifically, like our builds. So, like. I'll work with the call center. They know what projects we have coming up, and like we call specifically around our builds, and they will have scripts dialed to whoever the homeowner was. So it's like, they can maybe use it like in a large radius, but it's still like there's a homeowner. Like we were at Mr. Johnson's house, and it's much easier to set those appointments than it is like a storm.
Yeah, no different than
sure.
But you're hands on. It's your baby.
Yeah,
and you treat it like it's your baby.
Yeah, for sure.
It's no different than the solar kid. I mean, I wish I would have hired him for sales. Like it was a couple years ago.
He's probably available now.
Yeah, probably. I should have took his card. But he goes. We got John down the street. We're doing solar for him. This is what he's saving, right? And I couldn't have been more disinterested. And the charisma this kid had to be able to keep turning the conversation and keep me there engaged to the point where I was like, I got to be honest with you. I'm not buying fucking anything from you. You're not looking at my roof. But I'll tell you what, you're really good at what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're killers.
Yeah, he was. He's probably available now.
He's available.
That's your Indeed roofing ad is going to have nothing but solar reps in it.
What is it done forever? Is it gonna be? Is it just like the credit thing that has killed it?
It never was. And once I learned the model, it just wasn't a good fit for me.
Solar is a complete nightmare, and especially in our market, it's like people don't realize a lot of these companies that have gone out of business, and it's a headache to try to get if the company was bought out or something like that, get the information to do a detach and reset. But what people don't realize either, let's say you do have a concrete tile roof and storm damage happens to them, but it's much more limited. Let's say they're just having to replace the roof out of pocket, and they have 40 solar panels on the roof. They don't even realize that it's going to cost them, $8 to $10,000 just to get to the roof to do the roofing job. We haven't even started talking about replacing roofing yet. That's just to get the panels off the roof. And I don't care what they were sold by the rep or whatever. It doesn't even out. You do one detach and reset that you're having to, pay out of pocket for, like the whole point is defeated.
Why'd it get so big? It's just a shiny new object. A lot of hype.
You can do it on the phone, and the pitch was the pitch.
Yeah. What's your energy bill currently?
Yeah.
How would you like that?
I've just veered from it right on, just from the beginning. Once I learned,
stayed away from it.
Yeah, I do roofs. I don't do gutters. I didn't do siding. I didn't do soffit. I didn't do woodwork. I did roofs, and I did roofs really well.
That makes me feel great to hear, because I've stayed roofing specifically. Like, we don't do gutters. I mean, we have gutter guys we work with.
Yeah, we have gutter guys. Yeah.
We do roofing, and that's
it, right? That's what I did. I tried to do 60 to 100 a week when I was, before I, got out the space, and I just want to do them really good, and I want to do a lot of them.
Yeah,
I don't want to do all those other trades.
Don't get distracted by this shiny object. Mm-hmm. Like, do what you're good at, move on to the next one, that
shiny object's a mirage.
Yeah.
What's one thing today that you wish you knew when you first got into the space, when you first started running your company?
For me, probably would be just the people that are out there that are willing to help, but you have to reach out to them. There's a lot of resources out there, but you have to make those connections yourself, and you have to be a little bit vulnerable and put yourself out there, meet people. Like, when I got started, probably the first 5 years, man, it was part of it was my mentality. I was probably a little bit, ignorant to it and just hard-headed. I very much had the model of first man through the wall gets bloody. I figured it all out on my own. I didn't have a mentor, didn't have a coach, had nobody that was coaching me through the processes. It was me going home. Didn't
have Claude Code.
Didn't have Claude, dude. Man, I barely could, figure out a quick QuickBooks invoice at that time, bro. We were just grinding, and looking back, had I maybe had somebody earlier on, I probably would have expedited things a little bit, but it was a good experience, I guess. It's just these conferences and stuff that are out there, they're great networking events. I'd really, if you're new getting started, I'd really encourage you to go to one of those and make it intentional effort to introduce yourself to people, give them your card, make an effort, but be prepared too. You got to show some value yourself too, so I wish I knew that earlier on. It took me a long time to figure that whole thing out.
What about you, Raymond?
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, I got in the space a little bit older than a lot of people, so I kind of knew, and I did, and just the advice I give is I only take direction from people I'd switch places with, and I knew that. And go ahead and spend the money to learn from those people, so you don't make those mistakes. If you spend $20,000, $50,000, whatever, 25, whatever it is, to learn from those people, some of these fines that we've been talking about start off at $250,000. Workers' comp violations is 110 or 100, depends what state you are. I don't want to get bapped on this.
And this isn't, nor should be construed as legal.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. That's what I was looking for. I mean, some of those worker comp violations are 110 or 111% paybacks. So, the stuff I would have learned, I mean, I would have had, started spending a couple $100,000 learning those mistakes. I could have probably just paid somebody $50,000 and had them mentor me for a year or two, and I'd still come out, a Porsche ahead.
Porsches are nice. Some real nice Porsches.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
So you asked about the insurance retail model. You're a marketing company. What are you seeing with companies nowadays? Are most of them trying to like do some?
I mean, the last 5
retail?
years, everybody says, I want to get more retail.
Yeah.
But I think it's a novel concept. I think it's a lot harder to do than to say.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you're from my POV, it's a lot easier to find somebody who's hungry, will grind, and do things like that, if that's like your culture, and then put them into that and help them figure it out, and then find damage, get a homeowner to give you $1,000 for a $30,000 roof, than it is to the song and dance that you were talking about, build the value. And I'm not saying either one is right or wrong. I think that there's a lot of transition that takes place if you're going to go from being predominantly storm into predominantly having a homeowner cut you a check for $30,000. And I think oftentimes through my experience, and that's the only thing I can really speak from, you've got folks that are like, I'm going to put my number one salesperson on this. And they did $2.5 million last year. They're fantastic. And it's like, and it was all claims. And then you try to sit them down with a homeowner to sell them, and it's not the same. I vividly remember like 4 years ago, it was just a small package I sold a guy. I helped him set up and optimize his local service ads, and he's probably listening, and you know who you are, and I love you. He's like, I'm putting my sales manager on all these leads. He calls like 3 months later. He's like, you got to stop this. It's not working. I was like, what do you mean it's not working? You got like 147 leads or something. Like, you're killing it. The cost per lead was like $43 at the time, which is unreal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's listen to him, right? Literally, I pull up, I monitor like one call. It was a random call. I shit you not. This person called. And like, yeah, well, I had someone out to do my roof, and that was about 1.5 years ago, and now it's leaking in my bathroom. And we went with somebody cheaper. We probably shouldn't have, and this is kind of what we're dealing with. So we know it's going to cost more to fix it the right way. I want somebody to come out. Lead wasn't in AccuLinks. I was like, yeah, no kidding, it's not working. I was like, you got the hottest fucking lead that anybody could ask for. Like, they've already made the mistake, they felt the pain from the mistake, and they're telling you explicitly they want to pay to have it done the right way, which they know is going to cost more money, and it's not even in your CRM. We don't have to go any deeper. Yeah. It was crazy. Now, I don't know that that's necessarily, a storm retail thing, but what I could say is that person who had did $2.5 million in claims work, he wasn't qualified to run leads. He wasn't the right person. Maybe he was qualified, maybe he didn't want to. I don't know.
There is a transit. I think there is like a little bit of a transition there, but at the same time too, I also do kind of feel like, at least the way we train our guys, like, you got to, in our market, you have to be able to do both. So it's like, just, don't make it complicated. I think that there's a lot of times these guys will get so much in their heads, like, oh, retail's like this big thing. Like, it's a lot bigger animal to tackle than it really is. Just like, you're still going out, you're still scoping the roof, you're still doing all the stuff. It's like, we train hand in hand on the two because we have to. Yeah. But I have seen where guys could struggle a little bit, and I think a lot of it is just like a mental thing. They make it something it really doesn't need to be.
Yeah, we do roofs.
Yeah,
we do roofs.
We do roofs. Either we do it this way or we do it that way. There's when somebody would call me and say, "Yeah, I'm struggling. I think we're gonna go to retail. That your business is failing." No, we do roofs, bro.
Yeah.
We do roofs. I mean, either storm damage or storm damage. Either a customer doesn't want to mess with insurance, they do. We're a roofing company. We do roofs.
Yeah.
Either we get the truck from the carrier, we get the truck from the homeowner, but we just do roofs, and we're a roofing company. I don't care if you pay with card, you pay with check, you pay with cash. If the insurance sends it, we're a roofing company.
Yeah.
If you start doing that, there's something's broken.
Well, and also, like, when I talk about, and we had this conversation very early on, I was like, if somebody's looking, especially for services that you wouldn't typically target, right? So we know, especially when there's a weather event, like, we want to get somebody boots on the ground in front of that homeowner, because then we can go through the neighborhood, have a better likelihood of closing more people. And it's like, if somebody only does, roofs, repairs, replacements, whatever, it's like, we might target fascia or soffit because those clicks are less expensive if we know there's a weather event.
Gutters.
I was like, I honestly don't care if somebody's Googling dog shit on my roof. I'm going to try to get you a lead there because it's going to be super cheap. And now you know that there's probably damage there when you have the opportunity. And from the branding perspective, it might be different how you position yourself if you're, more of storm or more of retail. But like from the search perspective, the homeowner isn't making the determination. Like, I'm looking for a roofing company that's going to take my check from me versus my insurance company.
Yeah, you're the expert.
Yeah.
Either you have storm damage or you just need a roof because it's put on wrong.
Yes.
I mean, you're the expert. Is it? You come down off the ladder. I'm looking as a homeowner. I'm looking. Okay, am I writing a check or are we calling in the insurance company?
Yeah.
You're the expert. So is this a retail claim or is this a insurance claim?
Yeah.
There's
you
not
tell
a company.
somebody you only do they'll look at you like you
that's the weird.
Eye.
I'm gonna go back. That's the weirdest thing for me. Oh, we're a retail roofing company. No, you're a roofing company, bro.
Yeah.
What, I mean, you're gonna do the roof. How do you care? You gonna get paid in crypto? You getting paid? Zelle? You getting paid? What do you?
But if you have a company that's, let's say, they did $5 million for the last 3 years in a row, and it's been 100% claims through the insurance, are those going to be the same people that are going to be able to do $2 million in residential retail?
If they roof for me, they are.
Well, what if they don't roof with you? What if they roof for me? What if I started a roofing company?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same thing. Either it qualifies or it don't qualify, and here's your price. If it doesn't qualify, here's the benefit. So it's all, I'm glad you said that. So it's all education, right? It's all education to the homeowner. Do you qualify or does it not qualify? Is your deductible, do you have a roof payment schedule? Is it ACV? Is it better just to do it this way? Is it better? Every homeowner is different. Every policy is different. Is the house paid for and it doesn't have insurance? If it's a roof payment schedule, that's pretty much, with Allstate, that's pretty much a retail quote with a little bit of a coupon from the insurance company. Mm-hmm. So it's this all sales. Did you develop, are you going to develop, that's right. Are you going to develop salespeople? Or are you going to, lay me ups, because we still got to collect the deductible. But as if you're creating a company now, where's my camera? If you're creating a company now, focus on creating roofing salespeople, and you'll never go wrong. It's education. Educate your homeowner. It's not sales. Education. You qualify. You don't qualify. Where's your declarations page? Oh, if we do it this way and we find so we go through insurance and we find something, you got slat decking, you got nut code requirements, whatever, we bill them. If we go retail, if we pull the roof off and we find something, we bill you. You have storm damage, you have a bad install. You have, whatever, you have whatever. So just be trained from the beginning. We're not a retail model. We're not an insurance model. We're roofing sales reps. We are the professionals. We are here not to sell the homeowner, but to educate the homeowner what's the best decision for them, and always give them two options.
But do you find that the majority of contractors who have been predominantly and historically storm have the staff with the requisite training where they can switch gears? So they decide they don't qualify for damage, and they can then transition that conversation into an educational piece that compels that homeowner.
Yep, because this is the why. Why you don't qualify. Why it's not. They should have been on enough roofs and got them. They should be a better retail salesperson.
Sure, in theory.
Of why. Right, but it starts with leadership.
But do you think that that's the minority or majority of roofing companies that are traditionally strong?
I think, and then I know Sheldon, it's not that. I think so. It's where they have that tile, and that's a little bit different model. I'm talking about shingles.
Okay.
So I think that the younger generation got behind the curve on the insurance knowledge. I think they want to be a retail model because they are getting lazy and they're uneducated about the process, and it's easier to do retail. I know that you can sit there and everybody's like, oh, but you got to show the value and you actually got to sell at the table. Cool, that's fine. But if I've already been selling $5 million a year, I know enough about roofing and I know enough about my brand that I built that I will show you the value of me already being here, and I can already show you why you don't qualify for insurance and we have to go retail. And that knowledge should be enough to sell you, and that that is the good model for you. But that's where it starts with leadership.
But you didn't answer the question.
What was the question again? Say it again.
Do the majority of contractors that have traditionally operated off of predominantly storm, do they have that currently set up in their company? Is it the majority of them that do, or the majority of them that don't?
Yeah, so, I mean, it depends. I guess it depends which market you are. Yeah, in Florida and the Southeast, in Florida you do. In Arizona, you'll have a retail model. But every company that sells roofs, they're not. There's not 100% of none. There's retail roofing in the insurance game too.
Yeah. And I love what you said there. I know my team's going to love it too. It's like, this is what I have trained our team from the beginning. We want to be the authority in roofing. It says it on our folders. It says it on the wall. It's on our website. It's everywhere. And us being the authority in roofing can handle either one of those scenarios. I think that, back to your point about, companies being able to do both or whatever, I think the biggest thing that at least I see or I hear from other guys that I talk to is it's a different level of customer care. I think people, and we see it a lot, especially with the concrete tile stuff, you could pay $20,000, $30,000 to have your roof replaced, and it looks the same as it did before. When we're doing a lift and reset, and I tell my guys at times too, it might look a little bit worse. You start pulling tile that's been sitting in the sun for 20 years, it's faded, and then you start exposing parts of tile. It doesn't look like it originally did. So that customer, they're paying, like, they're a lot more connected to that money and that transaction than they are on, like, let's say an insurance deal. And I feel like that's probably the biggest thing that at least I deal with our guys and the different types of customers is, like, you have to realize that whether they're financing it or paying for it cash, whatever, they're a little bit more connected to that money, and they're going to hold your ass accountable a lot more things than they will maybe if you get it approved by insurance. And I think that's like the biggest difference that I see between the two. And where guys struggle is, it's, you get the claim approved, you build it, like, you already got payment and everything, you're waiting on depreciation, like, for the most part, like, what else is, you already got the duck, like, you're just waiting on final. There's not a whole lot of stuff that come up. Like, in a retail scenario, they like that homeowner. I'm telling you, like, they're gonna
pick it apart.
They're gonna pick it
If
apart.
it's, $45,000 versus $5,000, you're 9 times more invested. You start to look a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then the rep the rep wants retail. You know why? Because he's gonna cash out.
Paid quicker.
He gets paid quicker. Yeah. So that's why. So answer your question.
And that is a problem too at times.
Oh, 100%. Yes and no. So yes, they should be.
Sounds like a marketer.
Yeah.
Yes and no. It depends.
So we never go wrong. So let me answer your question.
It's a bold strategy.
So yes and no, but what I'm seeing now is somebody. So if they're switching from insurance, $5 million a year, and now the business is kind of, now we want to go to retail. Usually that means there's some decline there. What I hear when I hear that is ownership and leadership got behind the curve on what is currently getting them approved. Now, tile market's different. A lot of times the tile market or the state has came in and gotten involved, and we never want that. Say that to the camera. We never want the state getting involved in the roofing unless they want to get involved in every aspect of roofing besides making these states a licensed trade. We need to get the states involved and make it a licensed trade, and you're going to get all the wild, wild west out of it. The reason they don't want to, because there's going to be about a 3-year gap in getting everybody licensed, and the revenue for these lobbyist roofing companies, the shingle manufacturers, are going to take a dip for about 3 years until the licensings get caught up.
Georgia's not licensed?
No.
Yeah, see, we're licensed, and you still... I think there's obviously more of it, Texas, Georgia, those places, but also just back to like the retail side of things. I think the owners too, as well, like they're just not, it's not just staying ahead of the insurance curve and like what's going on there, but like you have to do if you want to run a company and you want to be the man and you want to have the truck, you want to have the car, you want to have all the stuff, do your freaking homework and figure out what your freaking market prices are. Like that's what it is. You know, guys are afraid to present a retail price is what it comes down to. You know, it's easy when the insurance writes the scope and stuff like that. They don't have to think about it as much. Like, oh, Xactimate's priced it out for me. Sweet. Like, for us and the tile side of things, like we have to, and part of that too is you're going to bid some jobs and you're going to lose them. But you got to have your guys be able to like vet those and find out what those you can't be afraid to ask people for, you know, what was their quote or what was different. Yeah. And we get our guys to do side by side. Like if somebody's going to beat us, like they'll make a last effort to do a side-by-side and, you know, run through the estimates together. And we flip a ton of those when we do that. And most of the time it's like guys just, they really haven't like looked at every single line item. They really haven't thought through their pricing. They show lump sum pricing at the bottom. Like even same as a insurance scope for us, like on a retail line item pricing we show, and you know we're transparent about it, but we know our numbers too, and you know that's the biggest. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, but you have to be knowledgeable on what your market trends are too. So
I was sitting at IRE, we were at Cosmo, I was with one of my guys from Georgia, his name's Jeff with RSD Roofing. What's up, Jeff? If he's not watching this, I'll resent him and start sending all his Google ad calls to one of his competitors. I'm kidding, Jeff. But this is completely unrelated, by the way. We were talking about somehow like guns came up in Georgia, and he's like, "Did you know I could just go? You know, I don't need a license. There's no registry. He's like, I can actually go sell a gun on Facebook Marketplace to somebody." I was like, "What? I'm from New York. That's crazy."
Yeah.
Like to somebody like, you know. I don't know.
It's easier to start a roofing company than to sell a gun. So they just give you that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
yeah, I thought that was great. I was like, it's wild how different things are.
And why?
Depending on
why. And the why is what I was saying is that nobody wants to slow it down.
No.
Because it'll be a 36-month turnaround for everybody to get caught up on the licensing, and they don't want to take a dip in the revenue. Where we've sit there and haggled and said, please make it a license trade. Please make it. Falls on deaf ears.
Maybe that's a good retirement plan for you. Go be a lobbyist.
I don't qualify as one.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
I've already tried that one time. It cost me about 149 months.
Goddamn. You guys got any questions for me?
No, straightforward. No, it was great.
Appreciate it. Thanks for driving over here, man.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. I was like, it's gonna be a great conversation. I think we even exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly grateful for you guys.
Caught the red eye last night. Like got a couple hours of sleep, but
poor
still
you.
Good.
I drove over in the transit. 5 hours.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, when he told me it was gonna be 5 hours and 50, I was like, damn, dude, that's a hike. You know, it's all good, dude. I love driving. I too hate flying. I'm not a flyer.
Yeah.
It's the control thing for me.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just I flew a lot in my last year roofing. I'm flying all the different states and doing everything, and then it just started freaking me out, dude. And maybe it's because I'm getting old and soft, but I'm just starting to get a little bit more scared or more self-aware of where I'm at in life and don't need to be taking chances I don't need to be taking.
Yeah. I did a show a while back, and it's like, well, I don't meet the pilot. If I met the pilot and I got to make a decision if I wanted to board or not, I'd feel a lot better about it.
That's true.
Like, do you seem disciplined? Like, you have a good sleep regimen? Like, how are things at home? Yeah. What's that look like? What do you like to do?
Rate your pilot. Come up with a new app. Rate your pilot
with Denzel Washington. What's that movie?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it.
He's all like doing blow and he's like drinking on the plane, and that's your pilot.
How many flight hours do you have? Oh, you just got out of the simulator.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch the next flight.
There you go.
It would be nice to be able to make an informed decision, and in the absence of that, I just get a little nervous, and so. I don't.
It's a 5-hour drive for you, Ray.
From where in my house, my Florida house,
yeah.
That's doable. I would definitely drive.
Yeah, I drive too. So, well, thank you for tuning in. Thanks again for the team at Roofer for helping making it happen. Thanks to these two kind gentlemen for imparting their wisdom with you for you, all the things. So appreciate you guys, and we're going to wrap up. We gone.
Thanks, man.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.